I appreciate that all our elders and all our leaders, I'm going to acknowledge them, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, right now. Because they have fought that fight for us. But today we're still fighting that fight.
You are driven to make your communities a better place. You're driven to make the world a better place, and acknowledging and knowing us as mob and our rightful place kind of in this country. And more importantly, you believe that change is possible. That hope is so important.
I always hope there should be a breakthrough. And I don't know where we get the strength from, and in the endurance of fuel, but we seem to always have it in our back pockets, I guess.
Why for me is on so many social indicators we're still left behind, but we have to keep pushing on and find that rightful place and prosper like all the non-Indigenous people in this country.
For the love of our children is, how can we, all of us here and all of the Cape, how can we all make sure that they have the same quality of education and the same quality of healthcare and the same opportunity for work as other Australians' children. For the love of our families and children, for 20 years ago, our family leaders said enough is enough. They built an agenda focused on restoring social norms, a happy, safe, healthy home.
The question over the next few days is, now what? What do our families and our children need in 2025 and going forward? We do know that if we can get our kids to year 12, and if they graduate, not just complete school, but if they graduate with a high school completion, which is an ATAR, QCE for those, or a vet qualification, we know that if they do that they close the gap not only in education, but in employment, in poverty, in income, in health. It closes the gap for them. So where do we put our efforts? Where do we push?
The median age for Aboriginal people was we were actually long-lived, long before thing. I used to see, back when I was a young fella, old people were living up to 90, 100 years old. You don't see that anymore. And like they keep saying, our people die young, and that's true. Our young people are dying now in their 30s and 40s, and that's from alcohol and drugs. That's not from natural deaths.
How important do you think the work you guys have been doing is to the future of Pakuti Nation?
Well, with the language, it's very important, because when you see a language is your strength, and it's a spiritual strength that God has given every Indigenous nation language. And when you speak your language, you can feel this spiritual sense in that.
The first time I said a sentence, I felt complete. And it's really good for us to continue with our language and teach our children and revive our language and continue to do that. I felt so complete, I didn't feel that way before.
When you think about it, the FRC is the only model in Australia that gives local Indigenous people any real power. So the local commissioners have some power to intervene, to try and stop that cycle that we know is associated with welfare, poverty and disadvantage, whereas otherwise all that power sits with police, it sits with Centrelink, it sits with the criminal justice system and child protection. People from CYI lived and worked with people in this room to design the model that is still like a world first and a leading model in Australia. Like PLOs don't have any power, police liaison officers. What other models are the actual decision makers with powers? Local Indigenous people. So I think it's a really precious thing that we've created in Cape York.
We go out with the engagement team and we talk to parents, and we even talk to the kids, and ask them, why are you not at school?
Cowan is really lucky that we now have
families or individuals that are wanting to go on voluntary income. They've gone off it, but they've come back on it because they see the need or the humbugging from families, especially our elders who really do need that extra support.
Everyone talks about responsibility, and everyone immediately looks at the community member, your responsibility. But a big part of my job as an independent commissioner, my view is that we cannot forget government and service provider responsibility. Our clients can do all they can to be responsible, but they will not be able to fully enjoy opportunities unless government and service providers are responsible.
You know, and it also comes back to the teacher. Like, are they here for them kids, or are they just here for fill their pockets?
These days you see grandparents now dropping kids off, sitting in class with, hey, our day's done now. This is the next generation, this is their kids, you know.
They would make cupboards and sell to community, so it was money back in as well, you know, within the community itself.
The babies grow up speaking the language because we speak the language to them.
When we started, we didn't have to build unity. It was already there. The unity came from these people, from our elders. Whereas now, we've got to rebuild it. The pyramid is like a snakes and ladders. How do you climb the ladder, and how do you avoid the snake? Your next move might see you climb the ladder, or your next move, you might get swallowed by the snake. You've got to be careful about what choices you make.
If you're going to have your money somewhere, you want to be able to see it. How am I tracking? Am I on target? Who's got it? What's it looking like? Do I need a bit more in my Ready, Set, Go? How's my homelands looking? And that's where, in 2021, this very clever team developed what's known as the PAMA platform. This team, this innovation that came out of this region, won an award for this platform in 2021 in the Sydney Design Awards.
We need to focus on completion of year 12. And then ultimately, the life expectancy will close. When all of that starts working, eventually we'll see improvement in life expectancy. In order for us to support all of our young people, we need to have a solution not just for the top kids, we need a solution for all the kids. We're going to talk about a plan to put our kids first.
You see all the photos of the Mole people and the years of work they put in, so I think just for me, you know, I was given this opportunity to get a good education, end up becoming a lawyer out of it, and can only play my role to show up and contribute however I can, or in whichever way that's needed of me.
I felt quite proud of how far, you know. The fact that that we're owning our mistakes, because I want people to understand that FRC is here because it's a problem that we started as a community, and we need to find the solutions now.
I walk through this building here, you see the giants, as they say, you know, like, you know, that's my why when I get up, like when I'm when I'm working working on country and that is it's about, you know, I'm blessed and I'm blessed to have so many great elders before me, sort of made the pathway possible for me.